today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. I love my little blog on Squarespace. It's so cute and it was so easy to build because Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that makes it easy for you to build your own website, whether that's a shop or a blog or a platform where you sell your courses. Everything can be done on Squarespace and it's just so easy. You don't need to know any coding, you don't have to learn any courses. It's so intuitive to use. You can drag and drop your content where you want it. You can create your own members area where you can build courses and classes online, so you don't have to have like secondary websites, and you can have an email built-in campaign. It's just this brilliant, intuitive, all-in-one platform that just makes it so easy for you to build a brand online. If you're a writer or an artist or a designer, you can make it all with Squarespace. You have an analytics feature so you can see what does well, like where is your audience based? What's their favourite content on your website? Do they like this course or do they like this blog? Where are they reading most? It's all built in, it's so intuitive to use. And so if you want to expand your business or just build a beautiful website for your blogging leisure, then go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/lady of the library to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Hello, and this is more chatty. Welcome to my bedroom. It's the dark realm in which I do all my writing and PhD work because I don't like lots of light. I don't like the main light on. I like it to be dark. I don't like stimulation or access to natural light. I find it a bit too overwhelming. So people ask me what do you want to do your PhD for? Where are you going with this? What is your purpose for after the PhD? And I thought I'd just do a chatty video about what I plan to do after the PhD and my logic for it. And it's going to be a bit more of a rambly video. It's not scripted at all. And there's lots of different things to unpack. What are you planning to do after you do your PhD? And honestly, it is vanish. My main goal is to be able to vanish and get a job somewhere very discreetly and sort of go off the map. Something I've always struggled with is when I was younger, I used to act a lot. I don't want to sound pompous by saying it, but I was going somewhere with acting. I had the opportunity to pursue it in quite a big way. You know, someone who I acted with in the same very small group ended up becoming very famous, and I was in the same avenue, and I was told by my parent not to pursue it, and it's always been a massive hole in my life because what I loved about acting is that I could create something and it wasn't about me. It was about me, but it wasn't about me. Allow me to explain. I could be on stage and I could act. And what people would take away from that is I really like how she acted that thing, or I really didn't like how she acted that thing. It wasn't about me. It was very, very rarely in acting is it about the person on the stage. You know, there's a lot of actors that I love purely out of what they do. Them as a person I don't know about. I don't know anything about their personal life. I don't know anything about who they are, how they are, if they're married, if they have children. I don't honestly care. I love how they act. And what I was hoping for in life is to have an experience where I could exist in this world and create things, and I would have the same response as I would as an actor, which is like, I like how they produce a thing. And unfortunately, I have a career where I can't do that. Back when I started 13 plus years ago, I think it's coming up to 14 years now, I did it because I wanted to share my opinions, like on books, and just make people laugh. But I realised that because maybe it's just social media has changed, but people who put themselves online are going to be evaluated on them as a person. It's not like an acting scene. You're going to be evaluated from a very unique perspective. And unfortunately, the same goes to academia. You can't exist in academia without some kind of network, really. You have to be known and have a reputation, and you have to, you know, just collaborate or talk to people and network, and it's all about building your profile as an academic. And I was under a naive assumption that you could just exist writing things and no one needs to know what you look like, no one needs to know what you sound like, no one needs to know anything about you. And it doesn't seem to be the case in academia. And I'm finding that out the hard way because I have a lot of social anxiety. And please be aware that this isn't the general experience of most people in academia. I realise I'm coming at this from a very strange perspective. I have no diagnosis, so I would ask people to please refrain from saying, oh, that's really evident of autism or really evident of ADHD. I realise that I am on the neurodiverse spectrum. And I've been on a waiting list for autism diagnosis and ADHD diagnosis for a couple of years now with the NHS, but I can't. It's like a 5 to 7 year waiting list, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. So I would just ask people to be, please, respectful. I'm aware that I'm neurodiverse, but what I am is unknown to me, and I would ask people to not diagnose me based on, you know, certain things that I'm not saying that I am anything, but I know that I'm not neurotypical. So even talking about it makes me like quite anxious and nervous, and this is why I don't normally put unscripted videos up anymore. I realised that I thought I could escape into academia in terms of not existing as an academic, like people would not know who I am, and I've realised I can't handle academia because I am too shy. I can't handle socialising that was necessary for academia to exist. You know, I went to my first ever in-person conference at the end of last year and absolutely hated it, and it wasn't because the people weren't nice, they seemed absolutely lovely, and it wasn't because the papers weren't interesting, they were so incredible, they were so interesting. It was purely I couldn't handle the networking, I couldn't handle the awkward silences of like filling in the gaps. I could ask questions, and then after I could ask questions at a conference, the second it all dispersed and everyone got coffees or went out for drinks or dinner, I couldn't handle it. And I ended up crying a lot and being ill, like physically ill. I'm not good with a lot of things, and it's kind of disheartening because also I get it online a lot. You know, socialising to me, any kind of social interaction extends itself beyond just physical. You know, it is, I can't join things like, I can't reply to texts, I can't join Discord servers without getting socially anxious, I can't go to parties, I can't even answer text messages from people that I know, I can't join groups. I'm really scared of people, if I'm being really honest. And that fear is debilitating. And you know, I have this really naive hope that I could find solace in academia, and I could thrive on my strengths, which is reading and writing and researching. Those are my strengths. And technically I made a bit of a career out of it for YouTube, but it taps into my social anxiety, and it's destroying me. And I have things that I have contracts, I have sponsorship contracts that I have to maintain, and I can't just drop them, I have to continue them, and some of them are over a year long. Which is really, really safe and secure, but also it keeps me into a sphere where I'm not built for. I'm not built for being analysed as a person because I'm not worth it. I'm not built for it. I'm not the type of person that people want to see on their screens. I'm not the type of person that, you know, I don't fit the bill. I'm not someone that is built for influencing. I'm not someone who's built to be in front of cameras, and yet here I am. And I purely picked YouTube 14 years ago because it was easy. I was blogging and no one was reading my blogs, and I thought, well, this is an easier way to like talk about books that I thought people would enjoy, and it was a really easy way of getting published and getting more eyes on you. But also I realised that I'm not an actress on here, and people will not view me as an actress. They won't evaluate the content without evaluating me, and I'm not a high quality person. You know, I'm not aesthetically high quality, I'm not like personality high quality, I'm just a very below average person in many different ways, and I can't handle that kind of evaluation. And the same with academia. It's really hard for me because I know I'm not someone who can self-promote. I'm not someone who has the nerve to talk to people. I can't have a conversation with people. I'm not a conversationalist. I'm very shy. I don't know what to say. So I know I can't survive academia. And also I'm not very intelligent compared to like most people. Like, you know, they're publishing papers, this, that, and I'm not that person. I'm very slow. I struggle a lot getting my head around certain ideas, and I'm not a very good writer, so I haven't got many good academic writing skills. I've got better like casual non-fiction, but I'm not an academic writer. So this is kind of just a little video just saying, like, when people ask me what I will do after my PhD, I mean, ideally, I'd like to leave the internet and maybe open a bookshop. I'd like to open my own bookshop, maybe, or get a nice little office job somewhere where I can just work in the back end and not worry, and then just have my work evaluated and not be not rely on me being the reason I'm successful, because I can't, that's too much pressure to have me as a person, as an entity, be the reason I'm either successful or not. And that's the case for academia, it's the case for YouTube, it would be the case for most big careers. And I'm someone who naively thought I could be in the background and just do my job and that would be enough, and I'm not enough as a person. And you know, people online will remind me about that constantly, and I can't be in a job where I'm constantly critiqued, and not genuine critique. I mean, like, not like saying, oh, you did this thing wrong, because I'll be like, oh my goodness, thank you for pointing that out. It's more like, colour your hair, change your glasses, speak differently, speak faster, speak slower, sound like this, have a setting like that, why is your house like that? I just can't. It's not what I was built for. And some people are built for it. Some people are built to be like, yeah, no, I am the product, and I am proud of myself, and I like how I am in the world, and I am proud to show people that I am not that person. I am not the person who can go around self-promoting, whether that's in academia or online. I'm not someone, you know, I lie. When people ask me, when they meet me, I lie about what I do. I don't even tell people anymore that I do a PhD. You know, I was with my partner's family at Christmas time, and, you know, strangers asked me, what do you do? And I just said, I'm a student. And when they said, oh, do you do that full time? And I was like, well, yeah, I write blogs online. And that was it. I didn't say I was a PhD student, I just said I studied classics. And I don't tell people I do YouTube. I lie and just say I blog. I'm a blogger, because I really struggle in life with the idea of existing as me. I would rather exist as writing. Like, I'd rather exist as a book or a report or a research paper. I don't want to exist as a person. I only want to be known through other entities. And I realise now that academia, you can't do that. You have to exist as an entity, like as an academic, and that's not what I'm built for. So I hope that answered the question about what I want to do after academia. It's basically just go into an office job somewhere, and maybe write papers, publish them at my own time, at my own pace, but not have to be in the academic world, as it were, because I can't. I'm too shy, and I'm too socially anxious to meet other academics or be in the academic world. It requires far too much interaction with, and also self-promotion, and you know, like this, you know, once contracts have ended, you know, I'm hoping to just live a small life, because this is too big for me to handle. But I like researching what I research, which is why I do it. But I'm not under any illusion or any desire to become an academic, as it were, because I haven't got what it takes. Because it does require a lot of socialization. It does require a lot of social people skills and networking and belief in yourself and pride in yourself about who you are and what you have to bring to the world. That I'm more of I like to do a thing, and if I can do the thing well, that's great. But I wanted to be detached from me as an individual person, and that's really hard to do in academia. So yeah, thank you for watching this weird little rambly video. Sorry it's unscripted, but it wasn't something I was able to put into a blog post or a script because it was just too nuanced. There were too many things, I knew caveats. And yeah, I hope it may have given some insight into people who are similar to me. Like if you're someone who is really socially anxious and potentially neurodiverse, then this is just the reality of how it is. If you have any questions, similar questions that I can answer in another video, you can leave them down below in the comments section, or send it into my Google form in the description box down below. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for my Patreons for making my videos possible, as always, and I will see you soon for another video. And remember, books save lives, so keep reading.